But now, here they go. Seems like there is a problem for Rafael Rennhofer, who's trying to fire up the engine. Oh, that's not good at all for Rafael Rennhofer, as Mikkel Pedersen trying to get past, and Rafael Rennhofer manages to get the car pushed out of the way, but that has dropped him. Oh, that is not what you wanted at all. That is P4 on the road for Rafael Rennhofer, and unfortunately, could that mean he ends up starting from the back of the grid? Could he even end up on the pre-grid? We've seen it before. Lewis Detling did it back at Vakasov, if memory serves me correctly. I was just watching his YouTube video about it. And that just goes to show to me. So it's always down to what happens next. What is going to transpire? So, in that respect, that changes quite a lot of race, but also maybe even has an impact on where Rennhofer finishes in the championship. But it's still early days in the race still, so there will be a gap. So it's Farin Mega and Janis Diak. Nikita Genza should be Rafael Rennhofer alongside, but then it's Montego Massa, Mikkel Pedersen, Nevio Fischer, Lewis Detling, Austin Lee, Adrian Rohr, Rafael Balzer, Jonny Mertz, Luis Jacobs, Leon Vakula, Moritz Wolber, Maximilian Schreier, Oli Glan, Hugo Götzel, David Schnell, Gregor Feigenstein, Jan Fischer, Jonas Rungnada, Richard Thomas, Tom Müller, and Zino Falke. That is your 25 strong. Into the tram lines we go. As with the revs rise, there's someone definitely out of position on the start, and that was around the outside. Looks like we have gone green. Mega's got the lead. Montego Massen's up into third place past Janis Diak as we're already into the first couple of corners. Pedersen's in fifth. Austin Lee, I think, has managed to make his way up into 8th position and is battling away. There's someone to the outside of him at the moment going through into the midway part of the circuit. So through the chicane they go, round towards the far part of it. So far in Mega, there was someone on the outside and it looked like someone got knocked out of position. Austin Lee, I think, was knocked out of position because of someone's exuberance on the start, let's say. Fine Mega leads the way and ahead of Nikita Genza. Montego Masson rounds out the top 3. Then it's Janis Diak and Mikkel Pedersen. Nevio Fischer rounds out the top 6. Looks like Rafael Balzer or Luis Jacobs might be running at the top 10. That is the case because Rafael Balzer has passed Austin Lee. Who is now 8th position on the road. But Fine Mega has got just over under 4 tenths between himself and Nikita Genza. Montego Masson and Janis Diak for third and fourth place respectively. Mikkel Pedersen, Nevio Fischer, other drivers that have made up moves. Yep. Rennhofer didn't get going, I'm afraid. Jonny Mertz in 24th position. Tom Müller up to 22nd behind Zino Falke. Jonas Rungnada and Jan Fischer, they ran at the top 19 positions, 19th and 18th respectively. David Schnell, Gregor Feigenstein, Oli Glan also moved up the order. As we're on to lap number 3 of the race. Mega's now got a lead of just over 4 tenths ahead of Nikita Genza. There's Montego Massa not too far behind. Montego Massa was running in Minimax last year. Mikkel Pedersen, in the meantime, has got past Janis Diak. So, the good thing is that over the course of the racing so far, as Montego Massa again closes up in the braking zone to Nikita Genza, and it's nip and tuck between 2nd and 3rd place. Luis Jacobs has dropped to 10th, having been overtaken by Austin Lee in the balance of proceedings. Janis Diak rounds out a very closely packed top 5, who are 1.3 seconds. That's from front to rear bumper. Nevio Fischer, Luis Detling, Rafael Balzer, Austin Lee, Luis Jacobs, Adrian Rohr, Maximilian Schreier, Moritz Wolber, Gregor Feigenstein, Oli Glan ran at the top 15. Hugo Götzel gets past the Jan Fischer for 19th position. Jonny Mertz ahead of Zino Falke. So the good thing is, at this particular moment, it is getting rather close. The top 5 were covered by 1.3 seconds. Byron Mega's trying to break that toe that Nikita Genza currently has in his pocket, and Genza's trying to do the same with Montego Masson, Mikkel Pedersen, and Janis Diak. Mikkel Pedersen, the sole Dane in this field, as we go on to lap number 5 of the race itself. And Byron Mega just very calmly going on with business, and it's really interesting how he's become a very different driver since his switch to JJ Racing back at the tail end of last season. Remember it happening not too long after the Euro Trophy season finale, I think, if memory serves me correctly, as there's a move by Mikkel Pedersen that's really helped him. There comes Janis Diak trying to power around the outside of Montego Masson, and Diak to the inside gets the job done. That was a brilliant move there. Well timed by Janis Diak. Mikkel Pedersen saw the opportunity. Janis Diak went towards the outside coming out of that hairpin and did the old Nigel Mansell dummy. Rafael Balzer in the meantime has been dropped a couple of places. Well, he's dropped a few places. Rafael Balzer could be out of this race, but he's 22nd. He's just dropped all the way out of the top. He was ahead of Austin Lee, who's now in 8th position. And effectively, what has happened there is that Rafael Balzer has dropped like a proverbial stone. And the real unfortunate thing for him is that he was running a genuine P8, and that's been given to Austin Lee on a platter right there and then. So effectively, what that means is that Rafael Balzer is going to be on the back foot for the intermediate classification post these heats today. 2 minutes and 12 plus an additional lap. Byron Mega in first place. Nikita Genza in second, but is now nearly 7/10 of a second of drift. Third, fourth and fifth still hotly contested. Well, Montego Masson's dropped off the back end of that. Mikkel Pedersen still ahead fractionally of Janis Diak. Nevio Fischer, Lewis Detling, Austin Lee and Adwin Hall, with Lewis Jacobs rounding out the top 10 positions as we are about to complete our 7th lap of racing. It's been a pretty interesting one so far, but Byron Mega has pretty much this season been the class of the field. He'll want to keep it that way. As Monina I spoke to earlier on today, wishing them luck for today. She said, I'm incredibly nervous. Well, what racing mums aren't, especially when it comes to trying to go for a championship title. That is when the pressure really, really comes on strong. So, Byron Mega, there he is, just briefly out of shot, and then we've got the two battling over third place. Mikkel Pedersen from Denmark with Oris Competition and Craft Motorsports, Janis Diak on the X-Ray chassis in the 239. But keep your eyes on Montego Masson. Montego Masson was keeping pace, but I think whether it's just dropped off a little bit coming through the fight, the second half of the race. It's all very fully charged for 7 minutes plus a lap, so the drivers are rigging the next of the Rotax racing engines and also the Mojo tyres in the process. Byron Mega now has a gap of nearly 8/10 of a second over Nikita Genza. Pedersen and Diak still battling over P3 and P4 respectively. Montego Masson is closing. Montego Masson just did a personal best and went quicker than Diak, but didn't go quicker than Pedersen. We've got 16 seconds on the clock. And what we have now is a very interesting dynamic, because Byron Mega is, well, look at the gap now. Pedersen's, that's interesting. Pedersen has just closed in on Nikita Genza, who's lost out nearly 2/10 of the day. We've gone on to the final lap of the race. There is Byron Mega coming through into the infield section for what will be the 10th and final time. He's kept the pace going, has Byron Mega. Nikita Genza still in second, but Byron Mega just has a handful of corners to negotiate. And you know what? That is a wonderful sight to see, even though it looks a little bit blurry on my screen. What I can see is there are spectators watching from the sidelines, so people have been able to come through. I think I've just seen a yellow flag there as well. And that's double waved yellows on the final lap, and there is one car, there's three. Oh! So Joni March, Hugo Guttel and Rafael Balzer might have been involved in in a very sudden incident, but Firing Mega takes the victory by nearly 1.3 seconds ahead of Nikita Gensa. Mikkel Pedersen takes P3, Janis Diak in fourth. Janis Diak in fourth, Montego Marson, Lewis Etling, Austin Lee makes up 2 places to finish a provisional P7 ahead of Adrian Hoare, Neville Fischer, Louis Jacobs, Maximilian Schreier, Moritz Wolber, Gregor Feigenspan, Ollie Glan and David Schnell round out the 15 strong the top 15 in that race. Jonas Ungnade 16th ahead of Leandro Fischer, Leon Vacula, Richard Thomas, Zeno Falke, Tom Müller, Hugo Götzel, Jonny Mertz, with Rafael Balzer out on lap number 8, and Rafael Rennhofer had an engine starting issue, didn't even get to the start of the race itself.